Morning from the Lake District. Do not adjust your sets. This is August and it's absolutely battering down. So this week we're in the Borrowdale Valley. Just doing a short walk this week. Just following the River Derwent, which is just over there. Just following it north, and we're going to do Castle Crag. So we were going to do well, a bigger version of the Coaldale Horseshoe today, actually, that would have actually encompassed 10 fells, Grassmoor being one of them. So had all that planned, but just looked at the weather, and as you'll know, in the UK at the moment, it's just been absolutely horrendous this summer, a total washout. So you know, such a big walk at that altitude, it would have just been a total waste. Going up there in the clouds, wouldn't have been able to see anything. You wouldn't have been able to see anything. Would have just got soaked, grumpy, and I'd have to do a lot of waffling to fill 10 fells worth of walking in the Clag. So gone completely the other end of the scale, and we're doing the smallest Wainwright. As I say, that's Castle Crag. So it's the only Wainwright that's under 1,000 feet, and I think it should only take us 2 hours, between 2 and 3 hours. 3 hours probably a bit on the long side, actually. So yeah, probably reckon about 2 hours. So parked over my shoulder there, back in Rosthwaite. There's a National Trust car park, which is a pay and display, that doesn't accept card. But then just next door, there's also a Village Hall car park if that one's full. But again, make sure you bring cash, because it just takes £5 in a little honesty box in the wall of the little institute there. So yeah, we're just as I say, going north. Path is pretty self-explanatory. Castle Crag right in front of us, and we should start to walk around the side of it here, and gradually meander our way up. Quite a forested area, so hopefully that provides us a bit of cover from this mess cascading down on us. So yeah, I'll speak to you again shortly. So you keep walking down along the River Derwent, and you'll cross a stone bridge, lovely little bridge. Just keep following the path down at the river to your right here, and then we're reaching this this fork here. So I think you can go either way, just depending on which way you want to get up the Castle Crag. But we're taking this right path in the fork to take us in an anti-clockwise direction around and up Castle Crag. But as I say, you can go the other way if you want to. Here, just had to go over this rock here, which was a bit greasy, so mind your step. But because it's been raining so much lately, everything's lush and verdant. It's green everywhere. Not seen a soul yet. So we're just continuing anti-clockwise on the path, just at the foot of Castle Crag to my left here. but we're going to take a little detour. There should be a little path that hooks left just a bit further up here, which will take us to a cave, which I'll tell you a bit more about once we get there, if we find it. But yeah, still pouring down, soaked. Definitely made the right decision just to do a short walk today, I think. But on we go. We think we've just spied the first of a series of caves here. Don't know if we've got to the right one though, but let's have a look at this. Pretty slippy down here. It looks like it's blocked off at the end here.
Yeah, that's not the one.
I don't think this is the one. No, that's not the way. But there is another path that continues a bit further up here, so we'll go back on ourselves and have a look up there, see if it's the one we're looking for. So we've just hopped up behind where we went then, in that little gully. But there's no cave here, as you can see, so I'm thinking there's another ledge there, so I'm thinking it must be in that next rock face further up. So we'll try and find a way up, maybe continue on the path round, because it does gain altitude there, and hopefully brings us to a way where we can access that shelf there, which is where I assume the cave is. So we've just reached another cave here. You can see there's a wall here, but this is not the cave we're looking for, I don't think. I assume that's all been mined out over the years. Can't really see any here, but there's there's big piles of what I assume is slate over there, and further back on the walk up. So yeah, assume there was some kind of mining activity that's happened here in the dim and distant past. Not today. We're the only people foolish enough to be out in this rain. Everyone else is having a cup of coffee, nice breakfast. We're waiting for the pub to open. So yeah, pretty easy walk so far. It's more just a meander through the forest, to be honest. Don't really feel like you're climbing a fell. Just enclosed in the trees and the ferns. Quite atmospheric though. Here's another one. Third cave lucky maybe. Gotta watch me step here because it is really slick underfoot. This one looks a lot deeper. How are we going to get over it? Step up. Yeah, so the cave we're after, which I'm thinking this is it, was home to a guy called Milliken Dalton in the 1920s. So he was a pacifist, a teetotaler and a vegetarian, so not much in common with us. But I think he lived here during the summer months, and then during the winter lived in a hut in Buckinghamshire. So how he would supplement his income, or how he would make his income, I suppose, was taking tourists on their adventures. So doing things like shooting and hair's breadth escapes, as he would call them. So it's a duplex apartment. Got a big living space down here, open plan, great views, and I think up there, I don't know if you can see it in the dark, is his bedroom, sort of like a New York loft conversion, if you can imagine it. But yeah, it looks like people have been here. Stuff for a fire there, all moss being put on the ground in a couple of places. Maybe to dry it out for people putting the sleeping bags in here. But yeah, you could definitely kip in here if you had the right gear. It's deep enough in. Water's not getting this far back. Let's have a look up at the bedroom. The staircase. As I say, nice view over there. And then just continue outside. Round to this upper bit here, where you can see a sort of raised platforms being built there out of the stones. So don't know if that was by him or someone earlier or later than him, but certainly man-made. Yeah, I don't know what purpose that serves really. Yeah, pretty Spartan. Plenty of graffiti on the wall. I think Milliken Dalton himself, inscribed something near the entrance. I did take a note of what it says before I came, but it's escaped me. I can't remember. Something deeply philosophical anyway. Okay, so that's that. So I think to keep going up Castle Crag, we need to go back down, as I think it can be quite precipitous up here, the cliffs. But we'll have a look. The path isn't telling me to go back down, but on other videos I've seen it does say if you're going to visit this cave you need to head back down the hill, which seems a bit counterintuitive, but if it's a safer way then that's what we'll do. So I've just come down from the cave there, as you've probably seen on the little bit of B-roll, and then there's just an opening in the rocks here. When you get to the bottom, if you just do a left, you can't really miss it, and then the path just continues to work its way around. So the path we're taking here through the forest is actually part of the Cumbria Way, so it just follows the River Derwent there, carries on up to Derwentwater, as you follow the path north. So for those that don't know, Cumbria Way is a sort of 5-day hike from Ulverston all the way up to Carlisle in the north. So you're walking sort of 15 miles a day ish, some days a little bit shorter I think. So that is something that we're going to do on the channel next spring, hopefully around April. Need to get a load of gear first because we haven't got so much as a tent, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually walk it in reverse from Carlisle down to Ulverston, because I think the last leg, if you're doing it south to north, can be a bit of a sort of anticlimax, to be honest, as you get near Carlisle. You know, you're just on A roads and walking through housing and industrial estates. So we're going to do it the opposite way around and finish in Ulverston. That's the plan anyway, and you can almost guarantee we'll have 5 days of this. So after visiting the caves, we've found our way right back down to river level here. So you really do drop down, and the rain is pouring. We just got to embrace it at this point. Can't really get much wetter, to be honest. And it even feels like it's soaked through my jacket, but I don't think it has. It's just because I've got short sleeves on underneath, and when the jacket gets wet and sort of presses against your skin, it does feel like it's gone through. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. Hopefully I'm bone dry underneath. So looking at the map and looking at the sort of height that we're at the moment, I think really this route that we're taking is just a wander through the woods really at quite low level, and then we get back almost to where we started, and only then do we take the path up Castle Crag. So if you just wanted to come here and just bag it quickly, you could do it far more quickly than this. But even this walk's only sort of 1 hour 55, it's saying on the OS map, although the book did say 2 to 3 hours. So it might be somewhere in the middle of that. But yeah, if you'd done a big walk on the Saturday and you were driving past, maybe you just wanted to bag Castle Crag, you could certainly do it really quickly. So yeah, an easy one to just pop up, I think. So we have started to gain a bit of altitude now. Sheepies there, looking at us like the fools we are. And just in the background there is the destination, Castle Crag, first and thankfully final Wainwright of the day in this weather. Sick to the bone. So yeah, I think we just keep going up here, and then somewhere along the way it should just kick up to the left, and we'll just work our way up, see what's up there very briefly, and then come back down and go back to the car. Or in fact no, I think we're going to a cafe actually, just near where we parked the car, if it's open today, because I can't imagine there's many tourists around on a day like this. Little plaque here, don't know if you can read it. It says the land surrounding the summit of Castle Crag was given to the nation in memory of Sir William Hamer by his wife Agnes, whom this seat commemorates. 1939. So yeah, must have owned the land around here, and I've gifted it to possibly the National Trust, so we can walk on it in days like this. You can see just over there some old mining huts maybe, and to be honest, the view we're seeing today is probably pretty much unchanged since people were working away in those huts. And when you're out in weather like this, it really brings into focus how hardy those men must have been to work in conditions like this. I imagine 6-7 days a week, probably 12-hour days plus, to earn a pretty meagre wage, I would have thought. But yeah, thankfully times have changed, although not too much in a lot of ways. But yeah, we can enjoy the landscape where they once worked, even if it does mean getting a good soaking. So we're just on our way up Castle Crag now. Pretty self-explanatory path here, just good thick steps up here, nothing too loose, and I think where Chris is, it should just kick to the right. I think we're just nearing the top here. There's this big pile of slate, and there's a zigzagging path that just cuts its way through, as Chris is expertly demonstrating. So yeah, nearly done. And I think once we get up here, there's a memorial to all the soldiers from Borrowdale that lost their lives during the First World War, I think, possibly the Second too. We'll have a look when we get up here. And, yeah, great views over there, despite the rain. And we haven't seen anyone else at all. Don't blame them. If you're not bagging weinies, I don't know why you'd bother on a day like this. But one to stick in the memory. I think we must be the unluckiest walkers in Britain when it comes to weather and doing these walks. Mind you, got good weather when we did Skidder. So if you've not seen that video, check it out. One of the few on the channel where you actually get to see some decent views. So yeah, just continue our way up here, and then I'll film again at the top when we get to that memorial. So the top's just up here, but I saw all these bits of standing slate. Not sure what it's for. Looks a bit ritualistic, to be honest. There's an old, what looks like an old fireplace there. Let's have one bit. I wonder if you can get up round there. Hopefully there's no goat carcasses on this fireplace. Oh, pretty interesting. Looks like someone's built that more recently, actually. And then, no, you can't get up that way. There's another little alcove there. More standing stones. So yeah, any idea what that's about? put a comment below, fill me in. But yeah, I'm just walking back the way we came now. Hook a left, back on ourselves, up here, and then that should be the top. You can see the views out to the mouth of the valley there. We park somewhere just down there, and I think when we pop down here, it shouldn't be too long before the path brings us back out to that point that I highlighted near the start of the video, where it splits into two. So as I said before, if you did want to do this more quickly than we've done it today, you will take a left at that fork and then just hop up the way we came. And I wouldn't imagine it'd take you yeah, if you parked in Rosthwaite, I don't imagine it would take you more than an hour really. So a good one to do with the kids if you're stuck for something to do, albeit in sunnier weather. Oh, Chris has left me, had enough, assuming he's gone this way. Let's follow him up and then start to work our way down. So we've just reached the top of Castle Crag. Oh god, it's bloody windy up here. Jeez. You can just see Derwent water there. Not sure if you can still hear me. But this is the memorial I was talking about just before. And what I have just noticed is the plaque we passed on the way up with the bench said that this land had been given to the nation by the wife of John Hamer. So he unfortunately passed away. So he was the lieutenant of the Lancasters, and he must have led these men of Borrowdale, who also died during the First World War, unfortunately. So he himself was only 21 when he passed away, unfortunately. And this, I suppose, just sits in sort of stark contrast, you know, a stark reminder of the values that Milliken Dalton lived by. As I said before, you know, he was a pacifist, so obviously against wars of all kinds. And you know, when you see the age of John Hamer there, left a wife behind, and all those other poor fellas that passed away, it does you know, it does remind you of the senselessness of war, albeit, you know, they were doing it for a very worthy cause. And you know, if they hadn't have bravely fought, who knows, you know, if we'd be able to walk around here now, or how things would have shaped out differently. But anyway, another Wainwright bagged. Not going to hang around here due to the terrible weather conditions, so we're just going to skip back down, watch our step. My feet are waterlogged, despite having the good boots on. They've never normally let me down, to be honest, these Sallower Crows. Normally just walk through a river in them, as long as you don't go over, the water doesn't go over the top. So I can only imagine I've stepped in something a bit too deep for them. So they are squelching away. So we'll get back to the car. There is a little toilet block actually in that car park in Rosthwaite. So probably get the trainers on, dry off a little bit, and then the cafe is just opposite the car park. So we'll warm up in there, and then we'll drive to tonight's location. We're staying in Buttermere, so we'll drive from here over the Honister Pass, and as usual, staying in the youth hostel there, which is it's a new youth hostel to us, but they are all much of a muchness, as you'll know if you've ever stayed in one. But the wind's picking up here and it is a bit steep, so I'll just stop filming for the time being and pick it up again towards the bottom. So we just came back the way we came, zigzagged down that pile of slates there, and then came through this little side area that's wooded. Now there is, don't know if you can spy it between the trees, there is a stile there that goes into this field, and I think you might be able to go that way, but we popped our heads over, and it looks like the actual path we want to take is here. So if you carry on coming down, there is another stile just here, which I'll show you. There we go. We'll pop over here, and then I think the path should just bring us back down, yeah, where Chris is walking there. That should just bring us back down into the woods we started in, along the River Derwent. Yeah, another stile there. and then I think just follow your nose basically. Watch where I'm going. It can be bloody precarious, these. There we go. One down, one to go. Jeez. That was a bit wobbly. Seen better days. Back on terra firma. So yeah, looks like a pretty easy path to follow now all the way back. Rain is easing off slightly, but we're totally saturated now, so it doesn't matter if it's raining or not at this stage, to be honest. More sheepies, unperturbed by the adverse weather, unlike us. Just going through some ferns here. There's heaven for ticks. I'll touch wood. I'm probably going to curse myself for saying this by the end of the walk, but on all the walks we've done, we've never, either of us, been bitten by any ticks. This is where me saying it is going to make it into a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I'll probably end up covered in them. That wasn't too bad actually, just that little bit. So there's the part of the valley we came up there. I mean, if you didn't want to go up Castle Crag, you just wanted a nice circular walk, you could just carry on down that path and it'll rejoin where we're going to join the path here. See some walkers there, look like they're doing the same route we did, just clockwise, and possibly missing out Castle Crag, maybe going on to somewhere else, maybe even doing the Cumbria way, which does go that way, who knows. So yeah, hop over here, try and find Chris. Must have a thirst on. So we're just on the path on the way down now, and just seen a guy going over the top there, who was going to rejoin the path that we took on the way up through the woods along the River Derwent. So just stopped and had a little chat to him, and I think we made the right choice today, doing a much lower walk. He'd just been on High Spy, was hoping to go across to Maiden Moor, but he said it's it's really windy up there and obviously soaking wet, so he just made a decision to drop down and yeah, seek refuge back in the cafe. So yeah, no shame in calling off a bigger walk if the weather's bad. I mean, it's not too dangerous at this time of year if the weather's bad, but obviously in winter there's even less point of risking it. Really can be dangerous then. So I reckon about half an hour, 20 minutes, we'll be back to the car. I'm driving this time. Quick change of clothes, just need to dry off because yeah, I'm totally soaked through, unfortunately, despite the gear. So I don't know if it's just getting in over the top, because it's only a relatively new jacket this. It's got a good hydrostatic head rating on it, so I wouldn't have thought it'd be leaking yet, to be honest, but yeah, if it is, good excuse to buy some more gear, which is always welcome. So I'll watch how I go down here, because when you're coming down these, as a lot of you'll probably know, when you're coming down these grassy slopes, when it's wet like this, it can become really slick, as Chris found out when we did Helm Crag. We were coming down Steel Fell, just on a really grassy bit like this, and yeah, his feet just completely went from under him because it was that slick and slippery. Done his ankle in, managed to hobble to the pub, but yeah, could have easily broke it. So just got to watch how you go when you're going over these grassy bits. So we've just come through that gate there, and just up ahead is the bridge we walked over on the way in. and it's still raining. But reliably told by other walkers that the cafe should be open here. The river's going at a fast pace now. Yeah, don't want to fall in there. If it rains much more, the fields will be covered, I think. I'm surprised there hasn't been flooding throughout the area, given all the rain we've had over recent weeks. But I can only imagine, given the the terrible floods that happened a few years ago, all the flood defences and things have been enhanced to stop a repeat. But yeah, as I say, this is getting pretty high, much higher than when we came in, I think, as it rolls off all the fells in the area. Yeah, you can see it's coming up to the coming right up the bank there. So just follow this cobbled path all the way around, and then we'll be back to the car in Rostthwaite. Yeah, it's definitely got deeper, the old river here. You'll have seen at the start of the video I did a clip from just down there, and you could see these stones here, which you probably could have walked across at the start of the walk, and now they're completely submerged. Shows you how quickly things can change. Just glad we're on the way back now. So it's starting to creep up the path there. Definitely time to get back to the car. As usual, the sheep remain uninterested, unbothered. So they've all had a fresh haircut there. Rain's great for the grazing for them though. So just back in the car park I mentioned here, the Borrowdale Institute. Just got the little honesty slot on the wall there. Thank God that is over. I don't think I've ever been wetter on a walk. Here's the little buff thing I put around the GoPro to ensure superior audio for the videos. It's a little bit damp as well. So yeah, it's just, so this car park here is the National Trust one. I think it's about £7 for 4 hours. Doesn't take card, and obviously you can't pay with card here either. And there is just a toilet block there. Again, that's got an honesty box for contributions. So Chris has just gone to get changed in there now. And when he comes out, I'll dive in there, get dried off, and then the cafe is just back up that way that we're going to try and visit. Although it is pouring down. And I think walking there we'll probably just get soaked again, so I don't know, actually we might just jump in the car and find somewhere that's got a car park right next to it, possibly the Langstrath Inn, just back up the road there. But yeah, see what he thinks when he comes out. So here's our Desres for the evening. It's the Buttermere YHA, and it's probably a good time to end the video, because Chris has smashed the bottle out the front. He's cleaning up like a good citizen. But yeah, the rain's coming in, and we're just heading off into Buttermere now, down that way. I'll join you on the next video.